On YouTube, back again. I apologize again. I know I keep telling y'all I'm gonna show you my unload and it never happens, and I completely apologize. Last night was crazy. It was a crazy night. I did make it to Harvey, like I knew I was going to. But I didn't get there till it was really late, and I was gonna make a video. I was in the process of getting my phone out to make a video. Showing you my straps. I was going to show you how I strapped at the shipper, but as soon as I got done with the strap, I went to get my phone, and I looked at my clock, and I was getting my 14, and I was cutting it really close. So I was like, I'll just do a video when I get to Allied 2. When I get to Allied 2, I didn't have an appointment time yet, so I called myself. Because Prime just wasn't staying on top of it, and made myself an appointment. The earliest appointment they can get me was 11:30 this morning, and so I was kind of, I was like, well, that pretty much might screw up my weekend, because now I'm gonna be unloaded probably late in the day, and I don't know what kind of load we'll be getting today. But as you can see, it is, oh, you might have to see it. Well, if you can't see it, it's 1 o'clock, and I'm not in Harvey anymore. What ended up happening was I got to Harvey last night, and when I talked to the guy in the shipping department, he said to go ahead and check in and let them know you're there, and that way, in the morning, they know you're already there. If they're not real busy, they might unload you early. So I get there, I go ahead and check in, and I'm thinking, well, it's going to be probably until the morning. I parked underneath a spotlight or a street light in their parking lot so I can make the video. And I grab my phone and I'm going out to start the video, and I basically start off like, hey, what's going on YouTube? And about that time, the dude walks up and he goes, hey man, go ahead and pull down to the end and we're going to unload you now. And I thought I heard angels singing. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because for any flatbedders out there who've been to Harvey, Allied Tube, or Wheatland Tube in Chicago, either one, it's slower than molasses. I mean, sometimes if you're lucky, they'll get you in and out, but for the most part, it's just, And I was completely taken back, so I didn't even hesitate. And I jumped in the truck, went down there, got unstrapped, and I was unloaded in 20 minutes. So I was unloaded last night, which was great because that gave me a good load today. I'm picking up some axles. First time I ever hauled these. From what I've heard from other flatbed buddies of mine, they're kind of sketchy. You really gotta watch how they load, because they kind of throw it on there, and as long as you don't say nothing, they don't say nothing. They just load it however they want. And I'm going to Ogden, Utah. Gotta be there Monday. It's like 1,500 miles. I'll be there Sunday night, and I empty out Monday morning, and see how it goes from there. I'm hoping to get home, possibly, because people who do know me, my grandson's coming. His due date is like Tuesday, and they're talking about inducing my daughter, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. So, and my wife thinks that and if I don't know if she'll watch this or not, but I don't know if she watches my channel or not, but I'm supposed to be home. She thinks I'm gonna be home on Thanksgiving, but I haven't told her that I'm gonna try to be home Monday, or maybe between Tuesday and Wednesday, depending on what they get me on Monday, or I might just deadhead home. It's only like 600 miles, and I mean, fuel. I can dish out 100 gallons worth of fuel out of my own pocket, no problem, and I'll just head on to the house. So, that's what we're looking at. From what I heard, this load's light, so fingers crossed. The only downfall to it is, in this instance, since I'm going through Wyoming, with the time of the year that it is, with the snow and ice going in and out of the place, I would prefer to be a little bit heavier, just because the lighter you are, the less pressure you're on the ground, which in turn would make you slide easier. Which you can slide, if you're going to slide, you're going to slide. But, you know, I just feel more, in my opinion, I feel more comfortable with a heavy load going through snow and ice than I do with light load. So, but, you know, can't turn down that money. The money's just too good. I can't turn it down. So, that's what we're doing now. They haven't started loading me yet. I just got here a few minutes ago and I checked in and they told me to back in right here. And there was a guy back there. I think he's over there now somewhere. And he was doing, I guess there's another load going to Ogden, but it's a multi-stop. I just got a single drop. So he was taking the order or something, you know, checking, make sure everything was there, and then he'd start load me up as soon as he could. So I don't know how long I'll be here, but we will find out. We will find out together how long I'll be here. But I promise, since this is a weekend load, I got more time, I will do my best. I will do, I'm pretty sure there's no reason why I couldn't, but I will do my best to make sure I get a video for you guys to show you how I secured it, what it looks like, what the finished product looks like. I know you guys are probably like, oh, I'm tired of listening to this fool. He always says he's going to do this and that and everything, and he doesn't do it. And I completely apologize. It's not my fault. It just works out that way where I have to get down the road and I can't do it. And I get in a rush and I have to take off. So I apologize again for not doing, you know, finished strap loads like I was supposed to. That's completely on me. So I apologize for that. But we will see how bad the load is here. But check back in with you once I get loaded. Alright, YouTube, what up? Well, like I promised, I would show you the finished part of this load. I just made it to my truck stop. I'm here at the TA in Gary, Indiana. Kind of all I can say, it's gonna be a long weekend. This load didn't necessarily shift on me, but it took a while for it to settle. So I stopped multiple times on the way up here to tighten up straps that came loose. I'm sure I probably got some loose straps now. I got within 10 miles and I said, to hell with it. I need to get to the truck stop. So, I haven't checked. I haven't done a load check yet, but this is what she looks like. I got, excuse my finger. They gave me, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 stacks. The biggest one's kind of there in the middle there. But I put half twist in my straps right there. Half twist to keep this from the wind moving my straps. But as you can hear and you can see, I'm pulling pretty hard. It's pretty tight. Put half twist on all my straps. See, that's coming loose a little bit, and I just tighten it up 20 miles back. This one's still tight, but I put half twist on all my straps. I mean, it seems like it's riding all right. It's just one of those where, you know, I check my load all the time, but it's one of those things where you're really just back and forth, checking your mirrors. Because every bump you hit, you're like, is this the one? You know, it's one of those kind of loads. I use my quarter winch here. This doesn't look that pretty, but it works. So instead of having to use a bungee and have that right there, I just run the excess down here into this winch, just hold it there. But I use my quarter winch because I couldn't get a winch back here. They put bolts underneath the rail, so that, because this axle here lifts off the ground when you don't have, as long as it don't, I believe, as long as it's under 20,000, this axle actually lifts, so you're only dragging one axle. So they put bolts here, so these winches can only go to a certain point. But yeah, I put half twist in it. I'm thinking about, I put a half twist here, but I'm thinking about maybe unloosen it and put a half twist up top, then straight out, and then have another half twist down here. But this traction, this one, this stack, and that one, which are the taller of the 5, seem to be doing pretty well. So I might just leave it. This one, I know it looks like I didn't put, like I always say on my videos, I like to put them towards the ends. And the reason why I didn't put this one toward the end is because the axles on the other side, the end of them is right here. So they're not nowhere near as long as these, which I didn't really like. I didn't like the fact, like, the load's taller on one side than the other. They didn't kind of even them out, so I just didn't like the way they loaded it, but you know, I got it done. Everything seems to be running out, and this one stayed tight finally. I tightened it like 4 times, so it's finally tight where it's not moving anymore. This is the smallest stack here in the front. I tried to talk them into giving me a pallet. I wanted to put a pallet right here, and I wanted to put a pallet right in front of these axles and X-strap it, but they wouldn't give me one because they said that I might damage these, so they wouldn't give me a pallet. And basically, putting an X-strap on this now, in my opinion, would be pointless because it's just like trying to put X-straps on wood. It might stop the axle that it's touching, but all the other axles are still free to move if they choose to. So I just tighten it as tight as I can get it, and just keep my eyes on it. But I'll show you the other side here. This truck stop's actually not that busy, so worked out pretty well. Got a lot of spots left. It might be till tomorrow before I get this. Right now it's the 4th, so I might get it uploaded tonight. It might be till tomorrow. But this is what it looks like on the other side. Half twist on this side also. Yeah, I think you see how, like, on the other side, this stack isn't that tall. See how tall it is on this side, but on the other side it's short. So it's just something I just wasn't a big fan of it. And this one, like I said before, it's really tall on the top but short on the side. And this one, what I don't like about this stack is that this axle here is kind of, you see how they lock in with each other? Well, this axle is kind of, there's nothing there holding it. So when I tighten it down, which this is really, really tight, don't mind that, it's fine. It's really, really tight. It's cracking this wood right here, and I don't really like it, but it is what it is. And for anybody who wants to say anything about this right here, I have used this strap before and got a DOT inspection, and I still passed. He was perfectly fine with it, so I still use it. But everything's tight. It seems like it's all right. So it's just one of those things. Just have to roll with it and do the best I can and keep my eyes on. The only thing I don't like is, like, I'm running on what they call recap, which I'll show you that here. I'll grab the truck and I'll show you all that to my video. Anyways, because I'm running recap, I'm having to start it's so many miles I gotta cover this weekend, and since I don't have a full clock like I normally would, since I'm running recap, I'm having to start as soon as my 10-hour break hits, which I'm perfectly fine with that. I have nothing against that. I love driving. I've always loved driving. I hate sitting and waiting. I hate that. I hate running long loads like this on recap, because there's times where you have to wait till midnight hits for those hours to jump back so you have those hours to drive, and it drives me insane. I just love to, my 10-hour break, I love to get up and go. So, but anyway, like I was saying, the biggest thing, my problem is this 10-hour break, I'll be done at like 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 in the morning. So it's gonna be dark, and I don't mind driving at night. I prefer driving nights. Less traffic, less BS. It's just, you hit the cruise and you go. The problem is, you can't see the load. And like I went and purchased, I brought my bungee. I went and purchased aftermarket lights for my headache rack, and they're bright, son, and it's bright as day when I turn them on. But that's the problem, because they're so bright, I can't turn them on because I blind everyone behind me. So I have to wait till someone's not behind me, flick them on, do a quick check, flip them back off before I blind somebody out. So that's when it comes to loads like this is why I don't like driving nights, is because I can't keep my eyes on it. But any other load where I'm not, it's more, I know it's secured, which this is secured, but it's not, you know, the risk of moving like these things do. I don't mind it. So it's just, I don't know, just one of those things. But let me, I'll show you the recap I was talking about and kind of give you an idea. Now, excuse the mess in here. My wife's on the truck, and I'm terrible at cleaning. Well, I'm not saying my wife doesn't do all the cleaning, but she does most of it, but I do all the driving. But my style of cleaning and her style of cleaning are two different things. So anyway, now that I got that out of the way. Okay. So, let me turn my light back on the Qualcomm here. Oh, that might be too bright. Oh, hell. Okay. Okay, hopefully it'll focus. Okay, so, go to 8 days. Okay. It's hard to do it when I'm trying to look through the phone. Okay, so, right now, let me go to summary first. So right now I have 52 minutes left on my 70, right? Well, at midnight, every midnight Central Time, which is where my company is from, where my company is from, it is in Central Time. So every Central Time, at midnight you get, on this day, on the 28th, which is, a week from tomorrow, a week ago from tomorrow, like a week behind from tomorrow. So tomorrow is Saturday. So last Saturday, I drove with my on-duty time and everything 8 hours and 50 minutes. So when midnight hits back, I get those hours back. So my 70 will go from 52 minutes back up to, I think I calculated it in like 9 hours and 42 minutes. And then the following day, when I drive all those hours out, I stop and I'd wait until midnight again, and I get back 6:52. And then just the process keeps going until, whenever you do a 34-hour reset again. 34-hour reset is when you sit in one spot for, sorry guys, phone cut off. Like I was saying just a few minutes ago, 34-hour reset, that's where I was at. 34-hour reset is when you sit in one spot without moving, without starting your clock, for 34 hours straight. When you do 34 hours straight of just sitting and not moving, it gives you it refills all of this. So all this right here, you'll be back up to 70 hours, all that will be full again. So you'll get to restart with 70 hours again until, you have 7 days is what I have. Some companies I believe are like 5 days or 6 days or something, but Prime is 7 days. You basically have 70 hours to use in 7 days. When that 7th day hits, when you start using recap again. So that's when the hours you've burned the week prior before that starts coming back. Hold on one second, I gotta plug this phone in. Excuse me, didn't mean to bob you around. Don't get too dizzy. I got you. You're safe in my hands. There we go. So, I have more than enough time to make it to my receiver in Utah. So I could do a 34 if I really, really wanted to, but I don't need it, so I don't want to. And I hate doing 34s. I only do 34s if I have a great paying load that's over the weekend and I get there like a whole day and a half early, then I'll do a 34 if it's a short run over the weekend, or if I'm at home. That's the only time I ever do a 34, ever. Or if I just absolutely do not have a choice but to do a 34. But I only like going to do. I don't really like doing 34 at truck stops. I don't mind it. It's not like I don't think I'm not saying I'm better than a truck stop. Not by all means. I love truck stops. But like most truck stops, some for the most part, not all the time, but for some most of the time, they're not really near anything. So then, you're kind of stuck at that truck stop. I mean, I have off-duty driving where it's like using it as personal time, but I only have an hour. So, and that's every 24 hours. So I have to wait till midnight or another 10-hour break, another 10 hours, and then I can use it again. So, like, I could go out and watch a movie as long as and if it's like 10 minutes down the road, off-duty drive over there, watch a movie, come back, and then have to watch what I do after that. So usually when I do a 34, either I'm at home, which I don't go home very often. Anybody who knows me knows I don't. Me and my wife, even my wife's at home now because of my grandson. But for the most part, we don't go home. I mean, last year we stayed out for like 11 months before we went home. This year we went home for our gastric bypass, and then now because of our grandson. And then next year, we'll be going home more often. Not like crazy, like every month or 2 months or something. Not like every 3 to 4 weeks that some people do, but maybe every 2 months, 3 months we'll go home and see our grandson, visit, and then come back out. But even when we do go home, we're basically there for a 34-hour reset, and then we go right back on the road. Like we don't stay there for like a week. We don't ever do that. Um, that's just something, and it's just that's me and my wife's work ethic. Like even though my wife doesn't drive, she cannot stand sitting in one spot. Like once we get home, like within the first 24 hours, she's ready to go back on the road. Even if she's having a great time, she's ready to go back on the road. And I'm the same way. And I love being around my kids. Don't get me wrong. I love being home. It's just I'm you're any truck driver who knows or people who wants to come into truck driving, uh, you'll you'll find you'll find that. Sorry, I don't know if y'all heard that. My wife was calling. You'll find um, that you'll start itching to start driving again. It's just it's part of the nature. But um, anyway, it's just one of those things. But that's basically how a recap works. I might do a video going more in depth in it, but that's basically the basics. I mean, it's black and white. It's not very hard. Um, but that's about it. I mean, this is how my load looks. Is how I strapped. Is how I secured it. Pretty simple. Pretty basic. Um, I might show you. I will be stopping at the Iowa 80 today, or not today, but tomorrow to probably do my 30. I thought for whatever reason I thought Iowa 80 and Walcott, Iowa was a lot farther than it is. So it's I usually go farther than that before I do my 30, but I always like stopping there because there's always good flatbed gear you can buy. So I'm gonna stop there and see if there's anything new and check it out. And I might do a video kind of showing y'all the inside if anybody's never been there. Um, I might buy me some new toys, but don't tell the wife. And that's about it, y'all. But I'll check in. If I don't do any checking in on my way up there, I will. It seems like a pretty legit place where I'm delivering, so I will do my best to do a video of them unloading it. I know I say that all the time, and it usually never works out, but I'll do my very best to get a video of them unloading it. If not, then I'll try to get a video of the next load I get. I'm not sure what I'll get. I have a feeling I'll be going down to Cedar City, Utah, and picking up PVC pipe. We call them Charlotte pipe. That's the name of the company, but it's just basically PVC, a little bit of cast iron. So I'll do a video of those, and if that's where I'm going, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'll keep you posted, and if anything, we'll see you in Utah. Y'all be safe. Have a good weekend.